Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about 10 ways a narcissist portrays themselves to fool you. And this is how they hook you. This is how they manipulate you. This is how they fool you. So I'm going to talk about 10 ways the narcissist portrays themselves. Narcissists come in as your hero. Narcissists come in as your angel of light. You think that this person is the answer to all your problems, that they are going to fulfill all your dreams. They build up a fantasy, a dream in your head. But I'm going to talk about how the narcissist is going to portray themselves to you. And this is why you got fooled, okay? I wanted to do this podcast because I had a client who actually got fooled by a narcissist, and what I'm about to describe are reasons why she got fooled, all right? And why another one of my clients got fooled as well, all right? So if you're aware of these things, you'll be up on it. So number one, one way that narcissists try to fool you is if they feel that you're a religious type of person, they are going to mirror you and they're going to pretend that they're very, very religious, all right? So why do they do this? They do this to fool you because they want you to think they're just like you. They also want to portray that they're a religious or spiritual person because you feel like you could trust a religious or spiritual person, right? They wouldn't do anything wrong. They wouldn't be underhanded. They wouldn't manipulate me. They wouldn't lie and deceive me because they're a person of God, right? Wrong, okay? This is how low these narcissists will go, all right? Most of them don't even believe in God, okay? They really don't. And you have also the religious narcissist that fools people, that uses spirituality and religion to fool people into thinking that, they're a trustworthy person. This is where you have plenty of scammers that, go out as, leaders of organizations, religious organizations, and they get all these vulnerable people who are very religious. They start a religious organization. They start a cult. They get these people to trust them. They use religion as their tool to get people to trust them. And then what do? They get money out of them. That's what they do. Or they control them. So they are using religion as a front to fool you, okay? And that's the narcissist who goes after people who are religious and uses the religion to fool them into thinking that they are trustworthy, all right? So a narcissist is going to portray themselves as Mother Teresa, all right? They're going to pretend they're very religious, they're a good person, they follow God's laws. Now, the next thing that a narcissist is going to portray is that they're pure, all right? Narcissists never want to look like a player. And some of them will they may even say things like, well, I used to be a player, but I'm not a player anymore. And you could trust and believe they are still a player. But what they're trying to do is fool you, okay? Most of the time, they're trying to fool you because if that's their character, 9 times out of 10, that doesn't change. So narcissists are going to try to portray they're pure. They're going to try to portray they're innocent. I'll give you another example. What a lot of narcissists on dating apps do is they tell you, oh, I don't even know how to work this app, or my sister put me on this app. They try to portray they're innocent, all right? This is the image that the narcissist wants to portray. They're innocent, they're naive, they're not all over social media, on dating apps, they don't even know how to use Facebook or change it into a relationship. Oh, I don't even know, how to change this. It's all an act, all right? So you got fooled by the narcissist because they tried to portray that they were somebody that they really weren't, that they weren't somebody that was going to come in and use you for something, or they weren't somebody who's juggling a lot of supply, okay? So they're going to portray they're religious. They're going to portray they're pure. They're going to portray they're innocent. And part of their portrayal of pretending they're innocent, one of the lines that a lot of them use, and I know this from experience, from a narcissist telling me this, is a lot of them will tell you they're celibate. Oh, I haven't been with somebody in 3 years. They're going to portray the opposite of who they are. So if you hear that, run, okay? Because they're running game on you. So narcissists will always say they've been celibate or they haven't been with anybody. They do this too when they break up with you. And then, you're on a break or something like that. Let's say you go on a break and then you get back with the narcissist. They're going to downplay whatever they've done while they were broken up with you or on a break. They're going to say, oh, I didn't do anything. I was so into my work. I'm working all the time. They love to use work as an excuse. Oh, I just have so much work. I couldn't even think about the relationship. I'm just so bogged down. I was so depressed and everything like that. Meanwhile, that narcissist was out and about and all over the place. All right. They were out with other supply because a narcissist will never be alone. That's a given. That's a fact. And I know that from a lot of experience, okay? So the point is they're going to portray to you that they were celibate, they didn't do anything. They never want you to know what they're doing. So whatever they tell you, they're pretty much doing the opposite, okay? Next way that how narcissists fool you, they portray that they're really trustworthy. And one of the red flags of this is they'll actually say, do you trust me? Do you trust me? I had a narcissist do this who was looking for something out of me, financial. And he kept saying to me, well, what could I do to make you trust me? What could I do to make you trust me? And I didn't even know him long. And I was like, the only way I'm going to be able to trust somebody is over time. And he hated that. Oh my God, he got so angry and irate when I said that because he couldn't rush me into trusting him because I put that time factor in and I said, it takes time to get to know somebody. It doesn't happen in a few months. And narcissists, that's one way to vet out the narcissist is tell them, yeah, maybe you are my soulmate, but you know what? Let's take our time because I like to get to know somebody, okay? And narcissists will try to be like, oh, let's move fast. Let's move fast. Yeah, because they don't want you to see their true self because narcissists can't keep it up. Listen to me when I tell you that act of theirs, they can't keep it up. That's why they move so fast. And they move so fast because they're eager for that and thirsty for that supply. So the way you fight them back is you say, let's take our time, okay? They absolutely hate that, all right? I know that for a fact. But they're always going to try to portray they're trustworthy. And a lot of times, too, they're going to say something like, you could trust me. I'm telling you, you could trust me. You could trust me. You could trust me. You're going to hear that word trust 1,000,000 times when you're with a narcissist. You could trust me. You could trust me. You could trust me. See, here's the thing. When a person is trustworthy, they don't have to keep going around saying, I'm trustworthy, you could trust me, okay? But a narcissist who's trying to con you, trying to fool you, trying to manipulate you is going to keep saying these things, all right? They're going to keep saying, you could trust me, you could trust me. That is a red flag, you guys, and I know that from experience. I've seen that time and time again, all right? Narcissists are always trying to prove their worth to you because they want your trust. So they will even blatantly come out and say, you could trust me. You could trust me. I'm your soulmate. I love you unconditionally. You could trust me. And you have to say, not today, Satan. How the fuck do I know I could trust you? I don't even know you. And I don't know what your true intent is, okay? So don't be a sucker. Don't be fooled by somebody just because they say, you could trust me, all right? Next way that narcissists portray themselves to try to fool you. They try to portray they're a homebody. Nobody portrays they're more of a homebody more than a narcissist who's out all the time. And what they'll do is they'll always tell you, babe, I'm just going to relax here on the couch. I'm going to play the game. I'm going to, I'm just going to read a book. I'm just going to watch my movie, and then I'm going to go to bed. I'll talk to you tomorrow, babe. Meanwhile, they hang up the phone and they're out or they have somebody coming over, okay? They always want to portray a homebody. I actually had a dude say to me, he was a big time player, and he said to me, on the holidays, so I don't even go out on the holidays. I'm just a homebody, this and that. I'm just a homebody. Meanwhile, he was the farthest thing from a homebody. He actually sent me a picture, you guys, with, what is it? One of the dating apps on one of their icons on the top of his picture. This is how stupid he was, okay? That's how I knew he was on the dating apps. But meanwhile, he was portraying he's a homebody. He doesn't go out, he's innocent. He also tried to play a game by saying something like, I could never cheat on you because I know how that hurt feels. That's another line that these narcissists use to run game on you. I'm giving you guys the game here, all right? They'll say something like, I could never cheat on you. I've been cheated on, and I know what that pain feels like. I could never do that to anybody. And you're thinking, oh, they would never cheat on me. They know what the pain feels like. No, they're trying to play you. No, they're trying to run game on you. And this is a typical line that narcissists will use to run game on you, okay? Next way that narcissists portray themselves to try to fool you. They'll try to portray they're a family guy or family girl, all right? They'll have pictures of themselves with their kids. Oh, what a great father. Oh, what a great mother. Okay. Meanwhile, they probably never go and take their kids from their exes. They never see in their kids, but they want to portray, I'm a family guy. My kids come first. My kids come first. No, you come first, but you're trying to pretend to everybody you're meeting that, your kids come first. And they also do that too as an excuse to be able to get out. Oh, I got to see my kids this weekend. I can't see you. Meanwhile, they're going to see another supply and they haven't seen their kids, okay? So they try to portray they're a family guy. They're not somebody that's in the bars. This is another thing they try to portray. They're not a bar fly. They're not in clubs. They're not out there scourging around. They're not in strip clubs. They're not in this. They're not in that. They always want to portray they're a homebody, okay? I had a client, she came to me and she was dealing with this guy. He was a real player, right? He was a real narcissist, covert narcissist, running a life, right? He wasn't just running with one supply. He was running with multiple supplies. And she came and she said to me, well, he never goes out to bars and clubs. Because I said to her, did he ever ghost you or do anything like that? She says, no. She says, he doesn't really go to bars and clubs. And the first thing I said to her is, how do you know that? How do you know he doesn't go to those places? How do you really know that? Okay? Why? Because he told you that? All right. He's probably lying to you because this guy was picking up supply everywhere. He was picking up supply at the store. He was picking up supply where he worked. Every time he traveled to another city, he met another supply. So, of course, he was out and about and all over the place. So this is what he was trying to portray to her, that he doesn't go to these type of places. Meanwhile, I would bet money that he does, okay? Because it's all part of the lifestyle of that type of narcissist that's always, out and about. And the more supply, the better. He's not sitting home, okay? He's not sitting home on his couch and just relaxing by himself. Not today, Satan. He's out and about, and he's probably, if he's not with other supply, he's probably in places where people meet and greet, which are bars, clubs, nightclubs, events, restaurants. So he was trying to fool her, okay, into thinking he's not a runaround when he really was a runaround, all right? Next thing that narcissists portray to try to fool you, they try to portray that they're confident, they're strong, they got it together, which couldn't be farther from the truth because a lot of narcissists are flat out cowards. I actually saw this with the malignant narcissist I was with. I mentioned this on my other podcast where I was in the car with him and he cut somebody off, all right? And we were in a bad neighborhood and he cut somebody off and the guy pulled over. And I was like, uh-oh, here we go. This is going to end up bad, right? And he got right up into the malignant narcissist's face. They say, hey, man, you just cut me off on that corner and everything like that. And the malignant narcissist just sat there and didn't say one fucking word. All right? You know why? You know why, you guys? Because he knew he couldn't play with that dude. He knew that dude would lay him out. And I mean permanently lay him out. Okay? And I was like, I was shocked. I was shocked. Because I always looked at the malignant narcissist like, oh, he's tough, he's strong, nobody messes with him. But you see what I mean? Narcissists know who they can and can't play with. So he knew to clam up and not say too much to this guy because this guy was looking to pop off on him, all right? But he knew he couldn't play with him. And so, but they know they could bully somebody else. They could bully a woman. They could bully somebody else, all right? That won't take them on like that. So they always want to portray the opposite. So they want to portray themselves as being confident. They're strong. They're self-confident when they're very weak. They're insecure. When people stand up to them, half the time they're either going to run or back down. All right. So, they're not confident at all. All right. The other thing that narcissists love to say, and I want to make you guys aware of this. This is another thing, how they try to fool you, is this is also running game. And a lot of narcissists use this line. I must have had at least 3 narcissists say this to me, all right, when I was in the dating world and everything. And I've had friends experience the same thing. They'll always use this line. Now, listen here. A narcissist is always going to say to you, I'm not like these other guys. Or if it's the other way, I'm not like these other girls, all right? When in fact, they are exactly like these other guys or girls that play games, play mind tricks, that are looking to, jerk you around. They are just like them. So don't be fooled when you hear that, okay? The other thing too, narcissists love to call you the cheater when in fact they are the cheater. And they will accuse you of cheating even when you have given them no reason to think that you are cheating. But what they're trying to do is they're just trying to deflect the shame off them and put it on you so that they could feel better about going out and cheating on you, all right? Or, another thing too, oh my gosh, I just thought about this and this is so true. Another thing they'll do is they'll say, if you see, like, let's say you're watching a movie with the narcissist, right? And somebody's cheating on their partner. You know what they'll do? Oh my God, this is so funny and so true. They'll start bad-mouthing the cheater. They'll say, oh my God, that person, oh, they're horrible. What a disgusting pig that person is. They're a cheater. They're disgusting. And you're thinking, oh, wow, they see that it's bad to cheat and everything. No, it's all an act. It's all an act because deep down, they're really on the cheater's side because that's the way they are. But they're going to portray like, oh, that's terrible to cheat. And underneath, you guys, they're actually giggling and laughing underneath when they're doing this. Like if you tell them, so-and-so, my friend's, boyfriend is cheating on her or something like that, he'll say, oh, that's terrible. He's a creep or he's this and that. Meanwhile, the narcissist is probably doing the same thing, but they're going to say these things to try to fool you into thinking, oh, they would never cheat. They would never do anything like that. Okay? This is how they fool you. All right? They also do that too. I'm going to give you guys another, tip here of how they try to fool you. They also, whoever they're having the little rendezvous with or their situationship with on the side, the other supply, if you know them, they're going to be bad-mouthing them. They're going to pretend that they hate that person. Let's say it's somebody from work and they're always bringing up their name and they're saying, yeah, that chick at work, she's a bitch. She's this. I'm going to get her in trouble with the boss. I'm going to do this to her. She's always got her mouth. She's always running her mouth or something like that. Meanwhile, they're having an affair, right? But they're throwing you off the scent by making you think that they hate their guts. This is how they run game on you too, all right? To try to fool you. That's the person that they're actually having an affair with. That's the other supply. But because they're bad-mouthing them or pretending that they can't stand them or hate them, you're going to think that can't be the person that they're cheating with. That person is running game on you, gang, all right? So narcissists will try to throw you off the scent, all right? So let's recap here how narcissists portray themselves and how they try to fool you. They portray themselves to be religious, godly, da-da. Meanwhile, they're corrupt, they're wicked, they're liars, they're cheaters, they're thieves. They manipulate people, they hurt people, they don't care. They're the farthest thing from a godly person, all right? They portray themselves to be pure. Oh, what is a dating app, all right? They portray themselves to be innocent. I haven't been with anybody in 3 years. Meanwhile, they were just with somebody the night before they came to see you. They portray themselves to be trustworthy. You could trust me. You could trust me. I'm not like these other guys and girls. They portray themselves to be a homebody. They portray themselves to be a family guy or family girl with their kids, or, playing with kids at a family party. Oh, what a great guy. What a great girl. Look at them with the kids. They're a family person. No, that's all a front. All right. They portray themselves not to be a barfly. I don't do bars. I don't do clubs. I don't go to those places. Yeah, that you know of, okay? Because that's what they told you. But when you're not around, trust and believe they're in those places 99% of the time. They portray that they're celibate when they're really not. They portray themselves to be confident, strong, self-assured. Meanwhile, they're insecure, bullies, need constant validation, need constant attention, and, will bow down when they're up against somebody strong who's going to knock their head off. That's a fact, all right? So these are all the ways how narcissists portray themselves and how they fool you. So I hope that helps you. And if it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast. If you're looking for confidential one-on-one phone coaching, I have limited time, you guys. So check out the link in the bio at askyaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed. If you're confused, you don't know if you're dealing with a narcissist, you don't know what kind of narcissist they are they covert, overt, grandiose, malignant, communal, whatever? Or could they be a combination of maybe covert, overt, and you need clarity what they are and how to deal with them? Check out that confidential phone coaching link in the bio. Also, go to my YouTube. I lay it all down on YouTube, over 6,000 videos. Pretty much you'll find what you're looking for about narcissism on my YouTube. I can't talk, you guys. It's so early. On my YouTube channel at the Game Exposed Podcast, okay? Instagram is the Game EXP123, and TikTok is the Game Exposed. And have a great day, and don't be fooled, and stop believing words, you guys. Stop, okay? You gotta vet these people out. Have a great day.